Hello my friends, today's video is brought to you by a company that tried to prey upon me, but little did they know, they messed with the wrong person. Welcome back to the rabbit hole. As always, timestamps and links are in the description box below, and I want to start out this video with a quick disclaimer. This is not a video wherein I am denying the reality of hair loss or thinning hair. Instead, what I want to do is make sure that we have this conversation kind of narrowing things down a bit, because I suspect that some people may think they have thinning hair when really all you need is actually the right products, a few tweaks to your hair routine to improve the appearance of your hair. Let me tell you the story of how we got here today. One fine and lovely morning, sun shining, birds chirping, I made the mistake of opening my email inbox to an email that was addressed to me. Dear AliceintheRabbitHole, we are reaching out about an exciting opportunity. We've noticed that your hair is thinning and we have a device that could help with that. We will send you our device for free and you can share it with your followers so that they too can get help with their thinning hair. I have chosen not to name this device because I am not a rich person and I don't want to mess with lawyers. My apologies if that is upsetting, but hopefully you understand. However, it's a very expensive device that quite a few of you have heard of. Now, here's the problem with this entire email. Y'all wrote someone who was a former hair model. That whole your hair is thinning, that may have worked on a lot of people, but it's not going to work on me because I've seen the potential of my hair in the right hands. I know that it's not thinning, it's just fine hair, naturally. My hair type has always been fine, which makes it look a little thin. That does not mean that it always is age-related hair loss. So, thanks for messing with the wrong person and making me realize that this is something we need to talk about. So let's start out today's video with some basics. If you have this exact same hair type, if your hair is also fine, first of all, is it also quite long? Because if it's long, you are already going against gravity, so to speak. Your hair already wants to pull downwards. As much as I hate to admit it with my hair actually being this long, one of the very first things I could do if I want my hair to have more volume and body would be to cut it. And that's the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Just kidding. Obviously, a lot of us are going to choose to keep the length to our hair rather than cut it, but just saying that is certainly an option. Secondly, if you're somebody who puts your hair into a ponytail, you may notice some hair loss right around here. I definitely did. I used to wear my hair in a ponytail all the time. I've got a really quick trick for you immediately in this video, and it is clips instead of hair ties. Some of you that watch this channel know she practices what she preaches. I wear these all the time. I don't really even put my hair into a ponytail anymore. They're so much more gentle on your scalp. It doesn't pull out your hair in the same way as a scrunchy hair tie does. And you can do so many different styles with clips. Oh, that's so cute. I mean, the hair, but also the chameleon. Right here on this very same platform of YouTube, there's all kinds of tutorials for what to do with hair clips. I buy the majority of mine on the Yes Style website, by the way. They have an amazing selection and amazing prices. That's my go-to. And my final tip for you here is if you do have my exact same hair type, I wonder if you also deal with my same issue of a lot of tangles. You've got to figure out what you can do to stop the tangles. But don't you worry, I've got some solutions here, including one from the children's section at Ulta. There isn't a children's section at Ulta, is there? You know what I mean, and that is the Wet Brush for Kids Time Release Detangler. Y'all, I bought this on a whim. It is so inexpensive. It's a kid's product, so, $10. Little did I know how much of a difference this was going to make for me. It's so funny too, because I read this, time release detangler, and I'm thinking, that sounds a little bit like a marketing tactic, but rest assured, we've talked on this channel, which if you're just stumbling upon, this is more of a skincare channel typically. We've talked about how time release retinoids actually can exist. It can exist in skincare products, and apparently it can exist in hair care products as well. There is a scientific explanation for that, and I'm sure that the cosmetic chemists that formulate hair care are also able to figure out ways to do that. They also say that it helps with hydrating, fighting frizz, and it contains some keratin to help with split ends. What I can tell you is in my personal experience, what I do is I spray this on my hair after my shower, and it seems to help my hair stay tangle-free for days. But go figure, it's also important to make sure you're using the right hairbrush. Oh my goodness, I have one I'm so excited to share. This is by the company Ergo that sent me a few brushes. This brush is called the Super Gentle Volumizing, I already like the sound of it so far, Ionic Paddle Brush. And what's so interesting about this is if you hold this brush vertically, it helps to detangle your hair very effectively. If you rotate it and brush it into your hair horizontally, you can use it in conjunction with a hair dryer. It will help to create tension in your hair, which sounds a little bit like the time-release detangling. How can the way you hold a brush affect it? But it not only does, it actually is something where you can visibly see the explanation behind why it works. When you hold it vertically, all of the bristles align in a straight row, which of course helps with detangling your hair. And then when you rotate it, suddenly you see a zigzag pattern of those bristles, which will help with the tension. I'm really stuck on this attention to detail because, again, as a skincare channel, we're always talking about concepts you cannot possibly see with your naked eye, but you can see this. You can see how it works. So now let's move on to talking about styling, and I'm going to tell you about a mistake that I was making for a very long time. I only recently figured out that I actually should be doing this, and that is I used to use a ton of products for repairing my hair, which is indeed quite bleached, quite over bleached. More on that a little later in today's video, but as such, I was using just a ton of repairing products, a ton of protein-rich products at pretty much every step in my hair routine. And the end result of all that is that my hair was getting healthier looking, but it was very weighed down by those products. So I actually received these products in PR from Rituals, which is a brand I talk about all the time for their body care products. They sent me their shampoo and conditioner in the volume and nutrition line. And I really didn't think too much of it initially, but I did start using these and I have fallen in love with these hair products. I wonder if it's because in the past when I used volumizing shampoo and conditioner, I focused only on volume and not volume and nutrition. Maybe that's the secret. The shampoo itself is actually, it doesn't look like most other volumizing products. You see how it's kind of a more milky, creamy type of product? So it actually, I guess maybe it is doing both. And go figure, it's Rituals, they smell nice also. So yeah, basically in this step, make sure you're not using products that are weighing your hair down too much. All that said, I still do use repairing products, including Olaplex #3, but only Olaplex #3. I don't actually think I need any other Olaplex hair products, because even with the Olaplex #3, if I go too hard on it, it will weigh my hair down. Whereas if I use it once or twice a week, that's where I see my hair looking better but not weighed down. By the way, if you want more information about Olaplex, I have a channel recommendation for you, the Blowout Professor here on YouTube. Small little channel that has incredible advice about this Olaplex brand, what to use and what not to use. And then let's talk a little bit about styling your hair. Now, again, if you have this exact hair type, let me tell you a fact. Wearing your hair down and straight, as I've done today, is probably going to be your biggest challenge. It's so funny that it took me a really long time to figure this out because, again, back when I was working in all of these hair shows, they would always style my hair with some type of curl. And I now understand the reason why they would do that. That's because when you curl your hair, you are creating texture in your hair, which therefore creates body. If you like the way straight hair looks, you can still work with that. What I would recommend to you is to focus on the root area. You will need some kind of a styling product here. The one that I'm currently loving is by Alterna, the My Hair, My Canvas Soaring High Volumizing Body Mist. So I decided to buy this because if you look back on my channel, somewhere I have videos praising the Alterna line. I actually really like it. However, this line does not have good reviews, and yet I love it. I think it has to do with your hair type. I really suspect this entire line, the entire My Hair, My Canvas line, is for this hair type and probably only this hair type. Because again, they don't feel heavy in your hair, which I obviously really like. I just talked about not using shampoo and conditioner that weigh my hair down. Yeah, that seemed to be something some reviewers don't like. They say, this hairspray does nothing, but for my fine hair, it's amazing. So, make sure you're buying products for your hair type. And then again, a round brush. This is something that it took me so long to get on board with the round brush. Again though, this Ergo brand really came through. To quickly explain this Ergo brand, they are a brand that is based upon research. You know I love to hear it. They wanted to come out with products that are actually comfortable for stylists to hold and use all day in styling. And they've done it. Their brushes are lightweight and with this amazing handle that actually makes it not painful to use. But with this design, it is indeed really easy to hold it and to turn it in your hand. Now, this is the larger one. This is the Ionic Ceramic Professional Round Brush. When you use a really big round brush, it's not going to create a curl. Instead, you use it to create a lift. If you do want to curl, you're going to have to go with a smaller barrel. This is actually from the Super Gentle line, the Super Gentle Ionic Ceramic Round Brush. In all truth, when I do that, I use the Orbe Dry Texturizing Spray, which is a very expensive recommendation. Feel free, if you have a comparable product, feel free to leave a comment suggesting that. I'm also tired of spending this much money on this, but it is a good product. And one more way to build volume at the roots. Some of you are going to protest this, but I swear to you, it's a good tip. That is none other than a crimper. You don't have to crimp your entire hair if you don't want to, although I sometimes do because I like the look. I like the look of crimped hair, but you can also just stick this at your roots and just give a little bit of crimping. It's amazing how much body that will give your hair. And that wraps up all of my personal tricks where I am right now. I'm going to tell you one more thing. I have finally made the decision to stop bleaching my hair because goodness gracious, that is tip number 1 out of all of them. If you are bleaching your hair and you're concerned about it being thin, my goodness, you've got to stop bleaching it. Bleach actually strips your hair. It makes it thinner. So thanks to that company for sending me that super predatory email and really being the straw that broke the camel's back, or rather the straw that broke the straw hair. So I hope this video was a good start. Again, as somebody who's not a hair professional, these are just the tips and tricks that have worked for me. Some of y'all are hair care professionals, I believe. Feel free to leave your thoughts as well. Thank you to Ergo as well as Rituals for sending some products. I'll have everything linked in the description box below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time.